us, and that's why we're talking about it today. Bullying, of course, rethinking the cultural bullying. When we say cultural bullying, bullying embedded in our culture is part of our lives. Yet the question is it supposed to be part of our lives? Is it even supposed to be in our lives in the first instance? Are we supposed to even embrace it? Are we not supposed to say no to it? Are we supposed to say yes to it in the first instance? So these are things that we're going to be talking about. Why is bullying even in culture? Why is culture and bullying together? And why should there even be a rethink? So that's what we'll be discussing on the show today. And of course, we have a guest who will be giving us insights on the topic today. So the truth is, you don't have to go anywhere.
Yes,
the mid-morning show
is
for you today. It's for you today. You're going nowhere. You're going to learn, relearn, and unlearn today. And of course, the first feature for the first segment is the feature, and that is bullying. How would you know? Many people are not even aware of what bullying is all about. So stay with us.
It's all about attention. It's all about attention, and there should be a level of relationship with your child or with your children. I believe everybody is always running for one thing or another, and that is why it's not everything in life is all about money. It's all about giving attention to people who are brought into this world. And if you are giving attention to that child, one way or the other, you will have known that something is actually fishing, and you have corrected something at earlier fish.
Okay, let's imagine that the child is an extrovert, and then at a point I begin to notice that the child begin to become introverted, right? Probably keeps to himself, he doesn't eat, he doesn't talk, and then what I would do is that I will sit with him and then ask him questions. One thing parents should, let's imagine I'm a parent now. One thing I would know, about the child being bullied is that I would study his nature. I would study the way he has been reacting before, and then what he's doing now.
I will know if my child is bullied by the response I take from him or her every time after school. One, I would, with my observation, notice that because every time the child is at home, he's always lively. And of course, through that, I know that the child is doing fine in school. And of course, they give me a feedback every day of what they experience in school. So my children, I have a very good relationship with them to the extent that whatever happens in school every day, they give me a gist of it, and I give them quality time to hear them out. So if he or she is bullied, they will surely expose it to me. For example, sometimes my little son will come and say, my teacher beats me. How? Say I was beaten this way, that way, that way. So by description and narrative, I would know that he or she has been maltreated in school.
Yeah, it's very easy because I'm very close to my children. So the countenance shows that I am seeing a new person. So, and most times, if anything happens to my children, they come to report to me. So I will see that strangeness in my child if anything happens. And when it's happened like that, they know me of that. That is why they like to report to me.
Well, for me, it depends. If you can communicate well with the kid, that's one thing. So if you know, because most times children don't talk with their parents if they are being bullied. And so communication is very, very important with the child.
Children are sensitive and delicate people. Maybe if the child doesn't confide in you anymore, or is being secretive, that's one of the ways of knowing. And it's also the responsibility of parents to make sure that they are friends with their children, so that they know what's in their heart. But little children, immediately you reprimand them for something, they might feel reluctant to say their heart later. So that's what I think is one of the most important things when you know that.
We not choose action at home. Maybe it's not like at home again, or it's like he's feeling isolated in the house. Instead of closing to me, I met her, one corner. What I made sure I close to her and interview her. What is wrong with you? What have I done to you? What are you facing in the school that now came home and be bothering you? Let me know. I made sure I close to her and ask her, even midnight I call her to say, have I been seeing you? I'm not, even I'll not be happy. If a guy is just decide to keep calm or herself, but I'm not even happy. I must know what is really bothering her on that action. So I've never, even when I call, I tell me what is passing through. Make me your confidence.
Well, actually, the first thing you need to know about your children is you need to build a relationship with them. Now, relationship, talking about a relationship between the father and the children, between the mother and the children, so that anytime they are going through anything, they'll be able to express themselves. And one thing I believe about parents is they should be able to do a check on their child whenever they come back from school. Any day you ask them, what happened in school today? What subject did you take? A lot of things like that you ask. Then there's a way, if there is a genuine relationship between the father and the child, there's a way you will sense that, okay, this child is behaving abnormal. She's not herself, or he is not himself. So you'll be able to know at that time. Then that's when you start breaking down and say, okay, what happened? There's a way you start asking one way or the other. And I believe before the end of the day, the child will break down and tell you whatever it is. So it starts with a good relationship with your child.
I think it has to do with the attitude of the child. When you observe the child closely, you'll be able to know there should be a kind of attitudinal change, behavioral change in the child. Maybe, for example, now, a child that is like a brilliant student, and you now notice in his academics, as in the performance, maybe the child is not able to meet up with past exactly. So you'll be able to know that you should be able to call the child what is happening. At times, there are times that your child can come and tell you, Mommy, there is this particular child in my class, this particular boy or girl in my class. Maybe there is a way that the child tried to talk to her, or the way the person behaves to her that she's not comfortable with. So one should be able to, like, even go to the school, tell the school authority, maybe call the attention of the school authority before it degenerates.
All right, welcome back. That was a feature on how to know when your child is being bullied. Yes, a lot of us don't even know the signs. We don't even know what bullying is all about. But with that feature, at least it's giving us an insight on what we want to discuss on the show today. And it's rethinking cultural bullying. And of course, we have our guest with us. Our guest, she is a child and family consultant. She is a trainer, author, counselor, and an emotional intelligence coach. She is Dr. Oluwatoyin Daniel. Thank you for being on the show with us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so because so many people feel like bullying, once they hear the word bullying, they think that it only applies to children, which I think it's not. The application also, it applies to the society at large too. At office, in the office rather, in the society, everybody can be bullied. So what is bullying? And what is the real difference between maltreatment and bullying? Let's start with it.
Okay, thank you so much. In natural facts, just like you said, many people believe that only children are being bullied. Anybody can be bullied. Either by adults or by children. It can happen to anyone. So at this instance, let's look at bullying. Bullying is their harmful behavior being demonstrated to someone. Actions that anything you do to someone that affects their dignity, disrespect them, or harm them in any form is being termed bully. So then looking at maltreatment, most people think, though we may look at bullying and maltreatment as almost same, but when it comes to maltreatment comes from someone that you've trusted a child with. If I've given you my child to be in your care and you are maltreating, you're abusing the child.
Okay.
So that's maltreatment from that end. You are maltreating someone you're supposed to protect. You're supposed to guide the child, either as a teacher or you are a mother, you're a caregiver, whosoever you are. At that point that you are being given that child to care for, you are the trusted advisor. You are the guide at that point. You could be the parent or whosoever you are. You're supposed to be the protector of that child at that particular time. So when you are doing something contrary from guiding that child and you are not protecting the child, you are maltreating the child, which is typically an abuse in natural sense. But bullying could come from anywhere. Bully could come from peers, it could come from friend, come from, just like I said, peer to peer, and it could come from maybe a boss to a subordinate. Then it could also come from husband to a wife. Just like when we talk about gender-based violence, except that we can term gender-based violence as maltreatment to body. You know, adults can speak for themselves in most cases. So anything you do to someone, in natural fact, that does not dignify, that does not, you can't hold them in high esteem, you can't respect them, is bully. So now maltreatment and bullying is when you harm someone repeatedly, just like any other person. So I think this is what, let me just stop there before we continue.
But so many people feel that once they unknowingly, they think that they are trying to, discipline the child, or they are trying to discipline people around them. So they kind of don't understand the main difference between discipline and bullying. Now, at what point does discipline cross the line into bullying?
Actually, bullying and discipline, they are two separate things. Discipline is our behaviors or set rules, guides that you want to use to correct a child. Teacher will say, I'm disciplining the child. Discipline is totally different from bullying. Discipline has set goals, your value, your core value, what you value that you want to instill in a child. I want my children to be able to stand tall in the society, while they behave well, people can see that, they say manners. Part of manner is you're teaching a child how to eat on table. You don't have to open your mouth and chew food openly and things like that. You're correcting that child. Discipline is guide. They are guides you put in place. Discipline a child, you're telling discipline. Okay, let me put it like this. Discipline and itself, they are set rules or guides you put in place to obtain value, to instill value in a child.
Sorry, ma'am, please, we need to go on this short commercial break.
Okay,
please
no
stay
problem.
with us. It's still the mid-morning show.
Breaking news. The home is under attack, but not for long, because Hypo is here. Dirty floors and surfaces.
Not on our watch.
Every day we Hypo. Dirty and stains, we do a now. We got the remedy, we turn up on Hypo, go Hypo. Germs always find a way back.
No green. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go Hypo.
Back, and it's still the mid-morning show on BCOS television, and we are talking on the topic rethinking cultural bullying, and we have a guest with us. We have Dr. Oluwatoyin Daniel. She's a child and family consultant, a trainer, and a counselor. All right, man, you were saying something about discipline.
Okay.
The difference between discipline and bullying.
Okay. I was saying discipline you are trying to instill manners, your core value, what you believe should be the best thing for the child, into that child. You're trying to model the child. That's what discipline is. But in our society now, we're misinterpreting discipline, if I say. What majority do is bullying. It's not discipline. Bullies are they are harms that we do to children, either to children or to adults. Let me define it that way. Because anybody can be bullied, just like we said earlier on. Discipline, at least you can instill discipline in adults. That's instilling discipline. But discipline, as in you're disciplining a child, as it is commonly used, that you want to deal with the child, is when you are trying to correct a particular behavior. Maybe the child, you can see that the child is going wrongly, like even telling a child that you have to watch your mouth and your hand every morning, or when you touch anything, like my children, I will tell them the moment you go out, you're coming into the house, make sure you watch your hand first. I'm instilling discipline in them. I'm telling them the right thing to do. That's guiding. Then when a child does something wrong, this kind of discipline now come in as in, okay, you've done something wrong. Why do you do it? Do you think it's right? Do you think you should do it that way? You're telling the child that. You're telling her the best way for the child to grow. These are not set the acceptable behavior. So you are telling the child those things you're doing are not acceptable. This is how you should do it. So they are mainly for correction. They are mainly to build the child up. That's discipline. But what we see in our society mainly are bullying. People will think they are disciplining a child, but the kind of discipline we have in our society is like you're telling the child, no, No, you are beating a child for not even telling the child what he or she has done. That's bullying. You are calling a child name. You are not disciplined. You are affecting that child. You are bullying the child. And at some point, you even go to the extent as a trusted advisor, you are maltreating that child because it has gone beyond bullying at that point. But bullying now is, let me now define bullying as harmful behavior to either adult or children. Any behavior that disrespects a child or adult, any behavior that harms their dignity, any behavior that harms their emotions, any behavior that harms them in any way is bullying. Whatsoever you do that does not dignify someone, that does not make them to be happy, or that does not instill value in them is bullying.
So at this point in our society, and you talked about not devaluing someone, bringing someone's dignity down. Yet, people do not recognize that bullying is not good. So why is it that in the society, there are so many signs and symptoms to bullying, and yet they don't recognize it as a bad thing?
Actually, maybe I will start moving to our topic gradually, you know. There are norms in the society, things that people have normalized that are not supposed to be normal. We'll talk about culture. Culture is the acceptable way of life. These are the things we accept. You dress well, you speak well, you respect people, you talk to them with respect, with honor. But when all these are no longer there, that means something is wrong with our society. Most people now see that, you know, bullying nowadays has been seen as acceptable way of life. People talk anyhow to adults. They disrespect people. You know, people will just be like, even to their own parent, they'll be like, I once had some saying they can sue their parent for not giving them good life. You understand? So that's a sort of disrespect. Believing that you are both people. You are maybe as a boss, you're thinking, she is a subordinate, she must be subjected to me. Or he is a subordinate as a woman, you feel like I can talk down on him. All these are bullying, and it should not be normalized. These are termed harmful behavior. In fact, we can call it harmful traditional beliefs. Because if you take it to culture, they are harmful traditional beliefs, which we have done part. We've spoken that this should be done away with. We don't want them again in the society.
Can you take us through some of these cultural norms that
it starts from us as family. At least with everything we do as a society start from the family. Either you're looking at the governor, you're looking at the commissioner, even we that we are all from families. But we all have accepted that, okay, then do some set of behaviors, good to speak up. While like we encourage children and people to speak up. But when you are speaking up, try to harm someone else, it is no longer speak up. We'll say, okay, in our society now, we are in the Africa setting, and we believe that in this, we are patriarchal. And everyone knows that. The authority lies with the male. You are the one ruling the house. But in this society today, we see many people, especially husband and wife, we see them. We say husband, though it happens with women, because I want to balance whatever I'm saying here. It happens with women, but we see many society. Due to so many ills in the society, people believe that the husband is the head. We know that. Even as a Christian, as a Muslim, it's been established that the husband is the head. But the head means that we have to submit to each other. We have to honor each other. We have to at least respect each other. But when respect is no longer there, you see people talking out as husband, as wife. You can talk anyhow. If you stand up and start talking out to my husband, that's not the kind of culture that we are being taught. Our culture talk about respect, talk about honor. We heard about women in those days that they call their husband my lord. They call hardly will you see a woman that would respect his or her husband. But today, what do we see? We see husband and wife fighting on each other. We're fighting each other. Even in the presence of the family, in the presence of the younger children, they are beating each other. They are talking. Some are not even talking. They are not fighting. And there are verbal abuses there. Then we have emotional. In the home, you see the wife writing to the husband instead of talking because they are having issue. So some of this thing that we glorified, that husband should be the head, good husband should be the head. The women are not allowed to talk. And wherever men are talking, the women should be silenced. That's one of the norms that we felt, but it shouldn't be. At least husband and wife should try and communicate and talk to each other. And also the issue of younger children should not look up to adults. When adults are talking, children should be silenced. We can say good. Children should respect adults. Give them honor. you take permission before talking, but not that children should be silenced. But some of our culture will be like, you don't look up to me and talk. You know, when the child is being abused, let's assume someone is abusing a child, and the culture is saying you can't look up to that person. The abuse will continue to be repetitive, and the child will not be able to talk. But if there are opportunities for the child to speak up, the child can easily address that. Uncle, you are telling me to do this. It's because we've seen many cases of children be abused, but because they've told them, you have to respect your adults. Without, you know that there are clauses to this thing. So you have to put that when you are being maltreated, you have to speak up. But our society says respect elders, which we do. But when there is no limit to this, it has become, and how do you call it? It has become control. It's no longer an authority. This is no longer being respectful again. It has become control, and we don't want control. We're looking at a point where we'll be able to talk to each other, where we'll be able to address each other. And also they will say, okay, at the place in schools, you hear children say there's seniority, good there's seniority. But most of these things have been abused. You see cases where they will say children in those days, I remember in secondary, they say, go and buy, they're giving you maybe 50 kobo to go and buy something of 2 naira. Let's assume a senior is asking you to buy something for 100 naira, he's giving you 10. You understand? What does that say? You are telling that child to go and steal. That's what it is. It shouldn't be normalized. So all these are put in place for respect, but when it now has been taken outside of respect, and there are no clauses, there, you know, for every rule there should be a clause, there should be standard, so that if this happen, what should be the outcome, you understand? So, but when these are not in place, then control will take place instead of communication. There won't be communication. So children will be abused, adults will be abused. That's why we have husband and wife. We've seen women that will say, my husband does not allow me to go out. Whereas we believe that husband and wife should sit down and communicate. So the issue of control, the issue of authority, the issue of tolerance, where you tolerate abuse, it shouldn't be. You know, our culture will say a woman cannot leave their home at some point, that the woman should endure. You can endure good, but when it turns to abuse, there's no more endurance in that. Why will you keep tolerating abuse? When a man is about killing the woman, but she's still there and say she's enduring. Now, why some people would term that as, and Yoruba will say, Koni Farada. Until she dies. That's why we see many women dying in their homes, dying in their marriage. We are not saying women, I don't support divorce.
We've seen people survive these times. We've seen people survive the culture, and they say that I've been through it. I survived, so why can't you survive? So what is the big deal in whatever you're going through? And some people even say that, if we give these people the upper hand, they might misuse the opportunity. So what can you say to such people at this point?
And in addition, do you have, as an experienced counselor now, I would like you to, give us some examples of cases you've treated.
Okay. Actually, for you to tell me your example that you survive it, you may survive, I may not survive it. And it will get to a point when you see that it's no longer palatable. Please, we are not saying divorce. There's room for separation. Husband, they can go separate ways. And if they now come to a consensus, they can come back. Because I don't support you staying there till you die. Not everyone can endure. We have elastic limits. Everybody has elastic limits. And by the time it gets to that elastic limit, it can't come back to normal. We've seen cases of this woman, Oshinashi, the popular singer that died in her marriage because of covering up what the society will say, what will people say, I don't want to, all this. So at this point, at that point, when a woman is being turned to a punching bag, you are being verbally abused, is affecting you. Many people have BP. Nigeria is a country where most people don't go for checkup. But if you ask me how many people going on the road, many people already have high blood pressure, but they don't know. Some are coping with all sorts of ailments that you can't talk, arising from being bullied. We see people committed suicide. All because of they are being bullied. People have told them they can't be good, verbal abused, and they've told them nothing good can come out of their life. And these things will later turn, they are being affected. Some commit suicide, some will not be good emotionally, relation-wise, socially, even professionally. They can't come out to say, oh, I want to be this. They are now timid. Why some will now grow to become bully?
Yes, now, sorry, for those people that have become bullies, Many of them did not even like the fact that they were bullied. But they just feel that since they have passed through the bullying saga, every other person has to follow suit. You see them in the workplace, they are the bullies. You see them in schools, they are the bullies because they have been bullied before. Even a teacher that bullies a child, definitely we say, I was bullied during my time. So what can you say to such people? Because at this point, many people are watching and they are bullies themselves. So what can you tell them? That the fact that it happened to you in the past, does it mean you should continue?
Actually, I tell people that it happened to you does not mean it is acceptable. We're talking about this culture of removing some of these things from society. They are not acceptable. They are not supposed to be heard in our society. That someone you went through abuse does not mean someone else must go through it. I remember in the university, some lecturer will tell you, I passed through these courses 3-4 times, so every other person you understand. It does not mean, and that is knowledge is advancing. And there should be a change of mindset. There should be a shift from our mindset from what is wrong to what is right. Many people think that you did it, my grandmother did it, my grandfather did it, it's been brought down from our family line. It does not mean it is right. Someone must come up and rise up and bring a change. Just like the issue of female genital mutilation in the society. You will hear women, you know, FGM is for female, and you will hear women say, they did it for my grandmother, they did it for my great grandmother. It was done for me.
Stories and at the end of
you
the day, you have
understand?
nothing to say.
But doesn't mean it must be done for your own daughter. But now we have better understanding, so we can't continue with that circle. We all have to stand up, and that does not mean that because you went through it, someone else can endure it.
I like that statement. The fact that we've been through the bullying thing doesn't mean another person
must go through it.
We have to go on this short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Breaking news. The home is under attack, but not for long, because Hypo is here. Dirty floors and surfaces.
Not on our watch.
Every day with Hypo. See our skins, let me do a shakara. We got the remedy, original plaza. Hypo, go Hypo.
Germs always find a way back.
No green. Protect every day with Hypo.
Welcome back from that short commercial break, and I like that quote there. Kind of going to what we actually been talking about. It says, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of your oppressor, and that's coming from Desmond Tutu. Do you totally agree?
Yes, in summary, that means you're part of the oppressor.
Wow.
If you are neutral, you see something bad, someone is being maltreated, and you are silent about it. That means you're saying yes to that oppressor. You're joining forces.
Words, even we, the society, are part of the cycle because we've seen a whole lot of bullying and we're keeping quiet about it. If you look at it now, you've been on the streets, you see a bike man seeing a lady dressed in short gown, and the next thing is, hey, you're wearing this short gown, I don't know. Even the micro drivers, the keke drivers, that, you know, people are doing it unconsciously. If you see, of course, we've seen that recently in the Zoro community, and they say it's culture. Some people there was a time I had to ask a bike man, who's your own business what you're doing? Hey, is it not our culture? Is she supposed to be dressed like that? And if they were given an opportunity, they would have lynched the female, or maybe do a whole lot. I mean, we even see some ladies who talk to a guy for just wearing earrings. Well, what's the problem? You know, we do a whole lot of bullying as individuals, but yet we don't see it. So what can you say about the streets bullying? Let me use that word.
Actually, instead of bullying someone, why not speak to them? And everybody have right to their own belief or their own their personal beliefs. But actually, you know, wherever you say wherever you're staying, the people say it influences how you behave. But instead of just telling someone that what you're doing is totally wrong, what we can do is to bring the person to, you know, there's always a shift. You can talk to the person rather than saying you're looking bad or you're doing this. Why not say you're looking good, you're a pretty girl, oh, you have a very beautiful skin. Wow, I would have loved you to cover up some of this skin. You know, you celebrated the person somehow, and it will be taken with value. But most of us tend to see the bad first. Because we would believe that, why would she dress this way? What if that's the only thing she has? Like recently I met a girl, the young girl, I think she's about 17 or thereabouts. She just moved into Nigeria. I noticed all the time, all her clothes are always, and you know, when she's coming, she'll not be pulling it down. So I knew something is right. And I spoke with her. She now said where she was coming from, that you can hardly see good clothes to buy. That if they want to buy clothes, they buy so expensive. I think that's South Africa also, that they buy expensive clothes, and most of the clothes, the design they bring in where they live are, is either it will open your chest, or you are seeing your breast house, or it will open your tummy and things like that. But coming here, she now felt uncomfortable. So I told her what you can do. When you have money you want to buy, your mommy wants to buy, tell her to buy good. Or what you can do now, you have inner, you have camisole, put it under. Then you won't have the issue of pulling down. Yeah. But the street bullying, I don't know what can be done about that.
But of course, we have an actress who saw some ladies in a party who were dressed somehow, and she had to come on the social media to say blah blah. So people were saying she was bullying the ladies, you know, and all that. But in her own defense, she was just trying to say, this is not right. So we now have some people who know that their behavior is wrong. They know that what they are doing is totally wrong. And even when they are being corrected or bullied, they still try to play victim. So what can you say to those sets of people? Because you know what you're doing is wrong.
But I think what we have to do is create more awareness, just like we are doing now. I think we need to celebrate more of our good cultural values. Let's esteem them. I tell people, when you expose yourself, you know the way you address is the way you be addressed. You want to attract good people. Dress good, speak good, be good to others. So if you want people to appreciate you, you also be appreciative. Let your dressing, let the way you carry yourself speak for you. But some don't even know this. That's why the issue of awareness, talking to people, creating awareness, sensitization comes in. You talk to people, then parents, community, society, you know. So because you are saying, we are saying that the society, people are being bullied on the street because they felt it's not the acceptable way. But the way they are now passing it across is not even the acceptable way. Do you understand? So two wrongs can never make a right. So what we can do is talk to them in a constructive way. Just like a bike man can carry someone, and after the person is on your bike, you cannot say, auntie, you are very beautiful, and you are nice, I like, you know, there's a way you motivate people that you can ship in your message. If she takes it good, but if she sees it normal, there's nothing bad. She has right to her own way of life. But all we all can do is to be our brother's keeper. And in our homes, what are the acceptable ways? You're coming from a home, you are dressed half naked. You have a parent. At least every person comes through a family. So you must have seen someone, you must have been raised somehow. Then let people justify what they are doing. The way you are dressed, do you think if you are going to meet maybe a governor or you're going to meet a dignity, would they accept you that way? So let this reflection coming from each individual. So if people are being mentored and being taught the way it should be, I think there will be a change, there will be a shift in the society. So most of these things we talk about are from the homes. Then we talk about culture or whatsoever, they are from the homes. What are the acceptable values in our, what are the core values? Because we all are throwing it on the streets. Mothers are going half naked. What do you expect the doctors to do? Mothers will be there on social media. You see parents smoking in the presence of their children, and they say smokers are liable to die young, and smoking is not good for children. What do you expect that child to do? We see a popular actress, a celebrity came out recently that she's been smoking for a very long time, but because her dad was doing that and he would drink lots of beers and everything, and she never saw it as anything bad. You know, upbringing, what we put in them and children will get. Then whatsoever, wherever, we either at a place of work or wherever we go, whatsoever we do, either one way or the other, even your dressing will influence someone. And the person will look at, I like the way this person dresses.
Yeah.
And you may see someone tomorrow and start dressing like you may not even notice. So either we like it or not, we are actions that people are reading. We are movies. People watch what you do and they will imbibe part of it. You will work with someone for a while. You'll be rubbing on that person. So I tell people, be the change you want to see in the society. You know, you are talking to someone. Most of these black men you see, some of them, they have dread and have this on their, and they are still bullying someone. You that you want to correct, what do you have to put across to someone else? So be the example you want to see in the society. Either parent as teacher or whatsoever. Teachers bullies a lot. Parents bullies a lot. Because when you have people with you, your children, your own children, one way or the other, you maltreat them and you verbal abuse them, you emotionally you abuse them, you neglect them, and those children grow to see those circles. If you are asking, most of these people were saying they are bullied, they are homegrown bully. They were grown at home.
Like, of recent, we've been seeing a boy who is in a school bullying his juniors, and we've been seeing in the Osoro community women being bullied. My question is, of course, these things have been happening. The silence has been there. So can we now say that if not for social media, we will still be holding on to bullying and say that is a normal thing? Because right now, the social media seems to be the tool in which has exposed bullying. So can we now say the social media is the light so far?
You know, when the social media came, it came for good. And anything, if anything is good, you also see the bad there. Okay. It's for development, it's for advancement. But I tell you, in this phone, you see good, you see bad. You pick which one you want. So it's late for you to make good use of it. You know, people can scroll on their phone, do all that. I tell, when I speak to teenagers, you can go here, you see celebrity, they will be like, I want to be like this, I want to be this. You choose. Your choice will determine how far you go. So now, if people think social media is a way to troll other people, speak to them, because cyberbullying is even on the increase. People are being bullied, and we all should know that whatever we do on social media is everywhere. It cannot be forgotten. Things you've done years past. Recently, we can see people bringing pictures, videos as far as 20 years.
And
they are bringing it.
About it.
You understand? So whatsoever you are putting out there, you should know that if this thing should harm someone else, you are bullying that person. Because now we have example of people that are dealing with some bullying one way or the other. Yeah. We have the example of this Nigerian pastor, a renowned pastor that had this litigation in US, and he won the case. And we also had cases of some of these celebrities taking people to courts. But this may be the order of the day. But can we just be good to order? Can we do the right thing? Can you say good words? And when people are not doing what there should be constructive way of correcting them rather than criticizing them negatively. Yeah. So because criticism is both positive and negative, well, which one are we adding? Because whatever you add will determine what will come into the society. Someone else will see it and see that, okay, I too can add my own comment to this. And even, you know, we've had people that have been bullied, even online, that have committed suicide one way or the other. And little acts, whichever act will do, we need to talk to ourselves. Those little acts, ask something they are adding to people. Some will now go back, this is what they said about me. And they start thinking about it. Some have left social media because of this. I've seen people saying they left social media because of abuse. And some have left it, or even they've lost their financial means based on being bullied online because they felt they couldn't stand it. It's becoming too much. So we need to do more.
Okay, so coming to because one of the things I get to know about the effects of bullying, cultural bullying now, is low self-esteem.
Sure.
Now, coming down to the victims, what roles do you think the low self-esteem has actually impacted into the society?
I just spoke about one. Low self-esteem. When someone has low self-esteem, they don't see anything good in themselves. But they tend to blame themselves. They tend to see themselves as someone that cannot achieve anything. Especially we Yoruba, we are good at telling someone that, and some of the words like Tifun Loro, that he knows nothing, madam, Olonje ya, Olodo, and all these one, Oponu. You know that you cannot think, those words are heavy. And when you keep telling people this, they keep thinking about it. That means I'm good. I'm not, you know. Recently, I was speaking with some boys, you know, when I talk to boys, because recently, one of these issues where we got here is we don't have men. that are actually leading our homes. Most men, our men, I'm sorry to say, they are sleeping. Fathers are sleeping, and they are not supposed to be sleeping. Fathers are sleeping. We need to rise up.
In what aspect are they sleeping now?
When it comes to parenting, bringing home money to the home is not all in all. You can bring money, a woman alone cannot raise a child. Thank God for women that have done it and they've done it successfully. Some can, but majorly a child should be raised with both parents. That's why we want children to stay within a home where we see the father or the mother, because we felt both rub on each other. Most boys don't see anybody to imitate. They don't see the figure of a father in their lives. They need role models. Some fathers leave home, come back late. And because of the society, the hardship in the society, some will be like the economy, that they are not even alive, they are looking for money. And when the money comes, what will you buy with the money when the children have gone haywire? And let's look at it. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to do this. But these children, who are the father that are sitting them to counsel? In those days, our parents, at times I'll be like, my dad, I remember the only time my dad actually caned me was with these two fingers. Throughout my life, I used to say it. But that experience I could not forget, because I think someone entered his vehicle. It was a pickup when we were about riding and driving out. And the man said, we should help him by this pickup. My sister was there. My sister was like, when daddy parks, the person will come down. But when the person had to drop on the motion, because my dad didn't stop on the way, and our neighbor was coming right behind us, he saw everything. Why my dad beat me was because I did not tell him. He trusted so much that nothing will happen and I will not say it. So my dad will not. So in my home, the way my dad will speak, he will just be telling us life experience and things like that. Those are the things that shape us. But some parents are not there. All they know is abuse. Especially boy child. We try to talk to them. The society believes the boy they are masculine, they should be strong, and you can't cry. We try to bottle up emotions and then we don't allow them. That's one of the results we see in that data state. Because boys are not allowed to express their emotions. You are taught them they are tough, they are the head, they are the this, they are the that. And now boys are not, even if you go to university and most places, you see boys dropping out of schools, you see boys not leading the class. I went to a school recently, I saw all the girls sitting in there, all the boys were sitting there behind. I said, what's happening? I said, they are giving them space so that they can have the girls. They are telling us to give girls space. God is good to give girls space, but boys should also grow with boys. Because who's coming back to marry those girls if we are celebrating, raising our girls, and the boys are lacking behind? What value do we tend to instill value in girls more than boys? Because we believe the girls, they are the mommies, they are the one that will run the home. You forgotten the fathers are the one that will give the mother the place to live and see the reward in that family, to make fruitful homes. But we don't train the boys. We don't tend to talk to them. Then they don't care attitude. They come out to the society and misbehave. Now we see increase in Yahoo boys, increase in crime, increase in this within our boys. So we need the men to rise up and be fathers indeed, not just by money.
Men that are parenting.
Yes, we have. I'm not saying no.
Maybe their version of parenting, their own way of parenting might be, okay, where did you score in your exam? Oh, so the person that is first position has two heads, Abby. Can we say that one too is bullying? Because I think it's just trying to express that, look, the person who came first does not have two heads. So where is your own? Do something about it. So we have different kinds of parenting. So what's the actual right parenting that can actually boost this? Like they say, the family, of course, is the first lane of the society. So from there, how can a child now come to be a person in the society in the future without being a bully? Okay, so it starts from the home.
Let me add to that. Now, how do you think, because we've seen cases whereby, the male now in question, they just, how do I put it now? There are some lots of ways that people get bullied, and they just. I'm trying to fix my words right now. I can. But okay, you know what? Let's answer.
Position you are saying the child is not doing well. There are some places if the child goes there, the child will be the one leading that class.
Yeah.
The 10th position may be. There have been cases. There was this scenario I saw recently. A boy scored 59% first position. A girl scored 90, maybe 92, 16th or 13th position. Let's just assume that. And the mother was celebrating the ones that scored 49 being the best in that class. And the one that scored 90 something, she was telling her she didn't do well. So that's what is happening in our society. And we don't celebrate what we have to celebrate. Then when we look at the society, what values do we celebrate? Those that are corrupt, those that can speak up and are polluted, we try to celebrate them. But those, you know, when you go for competition and all this, do you see people celebrate, oh, a girl in Nigeria won this big abroad? No. But let's go to Big Brother Africa, I'm sorry to mention, and some other, everybody will be talking about it. So we don't celebrate values. You understand? Values, yes. And that's why you are seeing all this in the society. Now, you were talking about a parent saying the child did not do well because the father believed that he or she did not get to the first position. But I think it would have been better for that father or mother to say, oh, you did well, but you can do better. Because as a child, when a child is even struggling academically, what role as you as parent have you done? Have you sat that child to ask, are you sure you have capability of handling this course? My parents were not, they had little education, but they would tell us, you want to study a course, what do you think you can study? Do you have the capability? People that study the course, have you seen how they are faring? Do you think it's something you will love, you want to do in the future? Is this something you can carry on? At their own level, they were encouraging us. But some parents, all they do is, you are not good, you are not good. If you are not forced, you are not forced. And if you are maybe a child is struggling, even for youth now, many youth are struggling, and the parents will be comparing. Have you seen your friend that has bought 2 cars, that have built a house for the parents? What are you saying? That friend may be into cybercrime or whatsoever.
We even have in the workplace when your boss will say, what have you done?
You understand?
No,
so we don't need all that.
There's comparison even in the place.
You don't have to. You don't have to. What we have in the society is everybody has their own differences. And we need to understand that the timing of everybody is different. With for children at home, we know we don't start at the same time. There are slow starters. And when they start, they just pick up like that. In schools, we notice that. Even among us adults, you see some people, at 40, they don't know what they are still doing. They are still struggling. And maybe in their 40s, and even some at 50s, they will just see them, their life will just change suddenly. A breakthrough will just come in like that. I went back to school I did my master's 20, how many years? 20 something. I went back after 18, almost 20 years of my master's, I went back to do a PhD. I made up my mind I would do it. But, I just felt there's need, if you want to continue in this field and you want to know more, you have to develop yourself. Yes. But for someone that didn't do, everybody has a plan. You may be doing well in this field. Someone else may not be their field. So we can't compare each other. The boy is not doing well. You don't have to do that. Those are the things that causes suicide, depression, and all this in our society. So we need to celebrate people and appreciate whatsoever value they. And we also know that not all children may be good academically. Some may be good with skills. Then some with whatsoever, and they are handy things. No skills as in the skills of talking and things. But when it comes, some are good in handling tools and things like that. So we need to understand.
Everybody has their own
Even if God had created us equally, the life will be boring.
Actually. So we have to go on this break. We'll be right back. Yes, it's still the Mid-Morning Show, and we are talking about rethinking cultural bullying. And we have our guest, Dr. Oluwatoyin Daniel, a child and family consultant. And that quote again by Michelle Obama. I love this quote. It says, no country can truly flourish if it stifles the potential of its people. I think we are seeing that in our society at large. A whole lot is going on that clamps the society, that clamps the individual from being what they want to be and how they can even achieve it too. We've been, I don't know how to use the word, we're being closed up, we've been shrinked in some form. But We've been talking about ways of bullying. We've been talking about how it can affect an individual. So what can be done to ensure that bullying doesn't become a norm and it is not attached to culture?
Thank you so much. You know, when we look at our culture, there are lots of good things in our culture. If you ask me, Yoruba, especially Yoruba, in Nigeria generally, you respect people, you greet. Some culture, we know countries, you just walk on your own, everybody to your own terms.
Everybody to your own terms.
But we've been brought up very well. I think what we need to do, we just need a shift from some culture, a mindset shift on some things. Why will you throw someone? Why will you talk down on someone? You just look at someone because the person is beautiful, you feel the person is achieving better than you, and you want to put them down. That's not too good enough.
Yeah.
And anything we want to do it has to start from the home, just like I said earlier. It has to start from individual. We have to be intentional. There's no shortcut to that. We have to be intentional. You may decide naturally that no matter what is happening around me, I want to be good to people. I don't want to be named a negative person. And I don't want to always be the one. You know, people say rebel leader. No. Just be good to people, because people go through a lot.
Yeah.
Especially now that everybody is just trying to survive. You don't have to add to their problem. Be good to yourself, be good to people. If you can find something beautiful in you, you will see that people are actually beautiful. Everybody has something in them that you can tap. We all have potential in us. We have goodness that we can render to each other.
Yeah.
You don't know where we'll meet. You don't know how our journey can meet. So parents, teachers, policymaker, everybody has to be on ground. We have to all come out and say, what are the things? We have the Child's Right Law. We have the Violence Against Person Prohibition bills. That's why you can, if you are rendering violence on me, you are attacking me. The VAP law, Violence Against Person Prohibition Bill, Acts now at the national level, says I can take you to court and you will be fined. That's why people should know that. But one thing we've been having in implementation, but for those that know about these laws, they make good use of it.
So making good use of the law is another thing. But what of the fact that, you know, we have a society where even when you go take someone to court, they can even say they want to settle it out of court. When they bring the entire family to come and beg the individual and say, please, I know this my daughter or son is a bully. Please forgive. What will such a person
So now in that case, there's strength. The resources we put into begging. Resources we put into that. Why not put the resources to raise better people? You know, there was a time we had this good nation, good people, great nation. Yeah. That was late Professor Dora Akinyuli's slogan there. That thing really influenced me. I think those are the things we need to put across to people. National Orientation Agency can still do more. We need to do more because they need to let people know how valuable they are, how good they are. As a country, we need to celebrate our differences. Let us know this. Let it be made known to people. Let family tell children that you are good, you are this, you are not a bully. Then policies, even in school, in workplaces, we need to do more. Workplaces, you don't allow bully. It should be made known. It should be part of the policy. You are not allowed to bully or harass anyone in this organization. There should be reporting mechanism. There should be conflict resolution. So if you have any case or anything, there should be a reporting channel that you can reporting mechanism that you can channel your reports. Then grievance addresses, then you can address your grievances. Then issue can come down. Then by so doing, and there's this something they call negotiation. You can see conflict resolution. Let people sit down. Let them know, wow, this thing you've done, I don't like it. But even the issue of going online is very bad. You know, nowadays people will just be like, I have my own courts, and the courts are the online judges.
Yeah.
They just go straight online. This person I done. At times I feel ashamed when I see women setting ring lights to say someone has done this. It does not speak well. It is not good. It's not a good attribute. Later your children will see this thing. See our mommy or our daddy speaking what you're not supposed to say online about someone. Pulling someone down should not be. Something should not be had among us. So please, let's celebrate each other's differences. And for us, let's be good to each other. I tell you, society, policy maker, everyone has to be on top of the game. We have to come together as a society to have a better society. We have to rid our society of all these ills so that we can have better generation building up.
You know, you said something. Parents themselves can try as much as possible to curb the act of bullying.
Thank you so much. Most parents, you see husband and wife having differences, and sure they can have their differences, but when it goes beyond, you don't need to call in that. Some will use the child as a big way. We will tell them, all those things. Children should not be exposed to some adults. They are just growing. There are levels that they can adopt. And I tell you, the first model children see are their parents. Whatever you are doing, they will